Chaos everywhere. How are you doing today? Let's talk about it. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos Rentas, and this is mentorsapproach.com, where we try to make a video each and every week to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. So hit the subscribe button and hit that like and leave a comment below because you never know. Now, in the last video, we talked about the path, finding the path moving forward, and we talked about the time, energy, and money aspect of all of this. We talked about how do we invest so we can get a return on that. We talked about that eagle eye view, and we talked about how to start planning, accountability, and all that awesomeness during this time of craziness. Now, we haven't posted in about a month, and that's because we've been doing a lot in the background here. We've been working to launch a new program, and in that program, we've also looked at it from a perspective of not just business, but how do we get more of a mindset aspect going and have a course in there for that. So we've been working hard to launch this new program that will help people with ideas and get them moving into profits, but we're looking at everybody in general and how can we help? And in that journey, I thought, hey, we should be looking at a new series, and in that, how do we apply the mindset more effectively during this hectic time? And it really came from all the coach calls and the questions and the scenarios we've been walking through with people over the last several weeks, especially since we launched the last video. And we took that video and we started kind of pushing it more into the conversation so we can see how people are thinking about the current situation, the future, and what are they doing to get to where they need to be. Now, in that process, we found a scenario that really applies to everybody in general as it relates to what's happening in the economy and the shutdowns and all the stuff with our health and COVID and what we're seeing around the world. And at the same time, we saw similarities and differences, and we're able to really group these together. In this process, we're able to group everything in a way where it makes sense, not from a financial or from a background or anything like that, but rather in this time, in this moment, where are you currently at? Are you in a good place? Are you in an okay place? Or temporarily, you don't know what's going to happen, and you're not going to be in the okay place for long? Are you totally screwed, or do you feel like you're going to be totally screwed very soon? And of course, the younger people that are finishing high school or college, university, maybe their trades, and they're like, what do I do? These groupings, everybody's dealing with them, and it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter financially where you're at. It doesn't matter, from a perspective of security where you're at. Everything could be better overnight, or everything could go down the toilet overnight. It could get worse overnight. And this is where we want to really focus and structure our mindset in order to see the future in a way of, if I start making the right decisions and start doing things to move forward, hey, maybe all of this gets better. The series is going to focus on that initial time, energy, and money thought process. How are we going to be investing it over the next 3 months, 6 months, a year? And how are we going to be able to put ourselves in a position where we can have more security with what's happening right now? This should be a big goal for everybody right now. And I encourage you to watch every single video in this series. Doesn't matter if you feel like, hey, I'm in that group over here and this other group I don't really relate with, because you'll find those similarities that we're finding with the mindset aspect of what we're dealing with. See, a lot of the times people will be in a specific scenario and something that they learn from somebody in this grouping will relate back to their own grouping. This is all about learning and learning a lot about ourselves in that process. It's about growing. It's about understanding that, hey, we're all in a certain grouping, yes, but we're also in a grouping together, because all of this that's happening around us is moving forward. So let me give you an example. If I'm talking about a restaurant and all the problems they're dealing with and how to deal with them, that's something that a server might want to know about. And if you're a restaurant owner and things are going good and here's your server, well, guess what? That video on the server, something that you need to know about. Why? Because these all work together. These all work and function together. And we're missing this big point, especially with the economy that we're in. See, when we're looking at this idea behind what the governments have been doing, yeah, okay, they try to help and they gave money. Some did better jobs than others. We won't know until all of this is done who did the best, right? But on a personal note, like, Canada did pretty good. Okay, they gave us $2,000 on the curb. The United States, on the other hand, $1,200. I got friends in New York. $1,200. These are significant issues that we have to deal with, and we're all in this together, yet different groupings, different scenarios. And if we can learn from this and we can see the mindset and we can see how we can apply growth for everybody, especially in our circumstances, we'll see change happen that's positive, not just for us, but for everybody around us, making a collective positive movement forward. See, when times are like this, the bubbles that we live in, they're not as bubbly as they used to be. And by that, I mean your bubble gets popped and now you're part of the whole bubble that's struggling. What I'd like you to do is, while watching these videos, come up with your questions, leave them below, leave your comments below, leave your stories below. Sometimes people will be reading them and they'll say, wow, that's me and that's a great idea. And who knows, you might save a life in that process. At the same time, we want to look at those questions, answer those questions that you have, and then make videos from them as well, so that we can share that growth, that learning that's taking place. Because there's some questions that, we never thought were real until people asked them. You're on a coach call and you're like, what? That's happening in, like, I don't know, South Dakota? What's going on there? We don't know all the time. And we can see this with media. We're not seeing everything. We're not seeing all the things that are happening full throttle. And we're seeing what is, classified as most important for the media outlets. And, when you go on Twitter, you see way more, but you don't see everything. And here's my promise. I will be doing research for the videos, for the questions I'm answering. I will do research. So if you're in another area, I'm going to answer the questions and I will do the research to find that in that area. So if you're in Europe or, we'll go continental Europe, we go to Asia, go to South America, because they usually make videos about North America. And that's really the go-to. Now, when it comes to the psychology and the mindset of psychology behind relationships and all that, it kind of applies to everybody. But when it comes to certain aspects about business and all this stuff, it does help to apply to what's going on. But at the end of the day, we're focused on mindset. And this mindset is what I am going to drive home, because this applies to everybody worldwide. And I want you to put that in perspective. The mindset, it works the same. Whether you're sitting here in North America or you're, on the opposite side in China, it's the same thing. It works the same way. People are working the same way, just different circumstances, different conditions. And this is critical for understanding of how to move forward and how to make the right decisions at the right time. Now, what I want you to do is hit the subscribe button. I want you to hit the bell so you can watch these videos that are going to be coming out, because I think they're going to be very helpful for you. In fact, I know they're going to be helpful for you. I want you to watch this video next. And this video is all about that time, energy, and money, and how we invest it and how we get a return on it, eagle eye view and all, and how to start making the right decisions at the right time with everything going on right now. And this is the next video where we start the series off and we start to look at it from the perspective of how to get your mindset moving in the right direction.